Hello. So this is kind of going to be a half unboxing because admittedly I've already broken into the box, but I have not actually unwrapped anything yet. The reason why I decided to restrain myself and stop was because I noticed some things about the packaging for these brushes that I wanted to share. So you get to unbox these with me. I ordered these brushes a couple days ago when I posted my video on the effects of Fude globalization and popularity and effects on how that's changing how Japanese brush manufacturers are changing their sales and MO in general. And I'm going to be kind of referencing back to that video a bit, but I'm going to be mostly talking about these brushes here. So true to Prime, they came in 2 days. Let's get started. So if you've ordered brushes from CD Japan, you'll know that they come with a crap ton of padding. Or from Beautylish, they comes with paper on top of paper on top of paper. Here you get them in their individual little packages like these, so you don't get the nice little, I guess, what do you call it? You don't get the cute little fluff of the paper shavings or any of the other stuff. So this is pretty standard for, Amazon packaging. So don't expect that super luxurious packaging with handwritten note from Beautylish or anything, or an information card. That was one thing I was surprised about. These didn't come with an information card that you normally get with brushes that come out of the Kumano Fude Association. But those cards are usually in Japanese anyways, so I can't read them. So they're nice that they include that card, but they don't really tell me anything unless I go for a translator. So remember how I was talking about how companies would have to change their packaging for the Western market? There was something I completely neglected to mention, which was that they need to make the packaging readable to the Western market. And here they have. This may not seem like a big deal, but this is a huge deal in terms of convenience and everything, because they need to hire someone to do the translation and make sure the translation is correct. And even if it's just a general contractor for that one, it's still a huge step. Japanese makeup brands and brushes up until now, most of them anyways, have kind of gone around the convenient route, where it's that they prefer to focus on making brushes and not focus on the sales. Rather, they let other companies or retailers focus on selling while they focus on, making brushes. So the fact that they even, not that packaging, they have packaging like this in English text is already major. And then this is something I would expect from a more Western company, this individually packed brush in a box rather than just a plastic sleeve, which I think you all know what I'm talking about. So pretty slick. There's concerns the Surratt brushes, for example, those are overpackaged and packaging plays into the price. I mean, absolutely it does to a degree, but hey. Do you want nice packaging for brushes? Yes. So yeah, normally the brushes just come in a sealed plastic sleeve like this. So this one's just a protective one to keep it from being abraded by the paper in the box. Let's start trash can over here. So this is the Soothing Face brush, as you saw from me waving the box around. This one is gray squirrel with a walnut wood handle. This is super light. Something I do like about this off the bat so far that I noticed, the name is engraved in. However, they have not engraved in the name of the brush, they printed the number on. I don't know if you can see that there. Let's see. Autofocus, you're supposed to work. Okay, never mind. But it says 804, and I'm assuming that's the code for the Soothing Face brush. Let's see. Nope. And then something that I didn't know until I ordered these Shaquda brushes is that they're made by Mizuho, which is another brush company that I've been buying off CD Japan for a while now. But for some reason, this particular sub-brand, Shaquda, was not available on CD Japan. And then I wasn't able to get them without using a third-party shipping service. So patience wears off, and I was able to order these pretty fast, pretty quickly. So this is information that's printed on the box. I don't know if it's showing up in reverse for you guys, but it basically tells you about the brush, made in Japan, la da 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 da. So off the bat, even if you just order this blind without knowing, you get a lot of information about the brush already. And then of course, made in Japan. I don't know if I showed that side of the brush. So pretty slick packaging, definitely tailored for, I guess, higher expectations. And I'm just going to go through the rest of the brushes. This is the lip contour brush. I think I'm going to stick to the knife to open these from now on. Again, tells you the information, which is pretty convenient. This is made of weasel, again with the walnut handle. Embossed or reversed embossed logo. Oh, I totally forgot to show the information card with the last brush. So comes with this, the Kumano Fude sticker that you might already be used to seeing. And this is the amazing part. I know. I'm so easily entertained, amused, or impressed. Something I noticed they did not do, though, is it's the English is still a little off, but I'm not going to fault them for it. For example, if the brush is handled roughly, hair damage and loss may occur. It's kind of still not conventionally speaking English, but it's a lot better than the sort of run it through Google Translate English that you used to get with information cards. So, and then it continues, some brushes have dyed hair tips and the color may run during cleaning. Only one word is off there. The color may bleed, which would be the word that we typically use. If the handle is left in water or wet for extended periods of time, the tip may separate from the handle. Again, much more improved compared to what you normally get information-wise, but a lot more smooth, flowing, and readable. Like, I do a lot of writing, obviously, so stuff like this catches my attention. So I'm going to keep that there. This is the Weasel Lip Brush. I imagine this would also make a pretty good watercolor paintbrush, but I'm not going to use it for that because I don't do watercolor. But hey, if you're ever looking for more purposes for your brushes. And then the walnut handles here are very light. So that's something you should expect with walnut. They're not going to have the heavy weight and heft of the Kokutan brushes, or even maple. I think maple is still denser and heavier than walnut. The African rosewood in the Bishodo are definitely heavier, and yeah. And then for the most part, these handles do feel like they're unfinished. If they do have a coat of lacquer on them, it may only be 1 or 2 to seal. But based on the instructions on the card, I don't think these are lacquered sealed. They're just polished wood. I may be wrong about that. Read some comments before I continue unboxing. Yes, you're supposed to wash them before using, which is why this is only an unboxing video and not a demonstration video. I had considered doing a demonstration video straight with the unboxing video, but I decided that wouldn't be true to how you're supposed to use them. So I'll do a demonstration and a review of them another day, probably a month or 2 further down the line after I've had the chance to really play with them and give a solid opinion. So this is another one of the brushes I got. If autofocus will kick in sometime. What do I use to wash my brushes? I have a brush washing video somewhere, but I think I'm going to refilm that because the quality on that video was pretty poor. And I have information to add that I got from questions later that I'm going to input in the video. But basically what I use is a gentle face wash. I figure if it's good enough for my face, it's good enough for very delicate hair as well. Let's see. Some people treat it Okay, so this is a cheek brush. This is a small cheek brush, very cute, very small. I've seen eye brushes that are about this size. This is called the Bright Up brush, so aka your highlight brush. So this is a mixture of gray squirrel and pony, again walnut handle, and honestly I don't think I can really feel the pony except for in the snapback. If you have a pure gray squirrel brush like this, normally it wouldn't have that kind of spring back, but otherwise it feels very, very soft already. So no, and I'm kind of a purist. I normally don't like mixed bristle brushes, but I got this one because it was interesting. I don't have an angled face brush or a cheek brush this small, so I got it, and I'm already very glad I did. It's very nice. May kick my bias to the curb. And of course, so all the boxes come with the brush and the sleeve and a information card. So I'm gonna end up with a lot of these. Probably just keep one for the heck of it and toss the rest. So all the ones I've been showing with the walnut handles are from the UBU line. I also got a couple from their triangle line. What is it called? The Misumi line. So I'm just showing the UBU line brushes right now. So this is a sheer eye brush. I keep showing the boxes because I'm so impressed by them. Like, I don't think you understand. You might by the end of it, but I'm just really excited by boxes because, yeah, admittedly, I'm spoiled. I do like having boxes to open rather than just sliding a brush out of a sleeve. So, and this is not by any means to criticize Hakuhodo, Chikuhodo, Koyudo, Hokodo, all the other whatever dough brush companies that still only use a sleeve, but this is an example of what I was saying of if one company starts going above and beyond the others will either have to catch up and do the same thing, or they have to do something unique of their own. So we'll see. So this is a sheer eye brush. Paddle. Pretty big eye paddle. I like big eye brushes, so I had to get that one. And then surprisingly, I got a angled brow brush. So this is this. And this is Water Badger Pony. I got this one because it was Water Badger Pony, and I wanted to compare it to my Water Badger Shu Uemura brow brush to see if it applied differently. So here's this, and also because it's unique. And lastly, I have this blending eye brush here. And then this is a gray squirrel eye brush. So something I noticed about the Amazon store, it seemed like they had mostly the higher end brushes. I didn't really, maybe it's my own bias, but I didn't really see any goat brushes on there. Maybe there were, but it was fewer than the squirrel brushes, surprisingly. I may have been biased and just went straight for the squirrel brushes, so ignore what I just said on that. So round, tapered, nice and pointed. I would call this medium-sized brush. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I think I'd call that a medium-sized brush. While I call this one a large, this one's a medium brush. So as you can see, difference already. If you don't want to wait for my review, this is kind of what's going on size-wise with the blending eye brush versus the sheer eye brush. But if you watch my large eye brushes video, this is a lot more versatile than it looks because you can use it flat like that. And of course, you use it on the side to blend or apply eyeshadow. So if you're intimidated by large eyeshadow brushes and you go, what the heck would I do with that? The video is up for you to see. And of course, this brush, it's a lip brush, but I'm probably going to end up using it around the eyes as well because I think this would make a beautiful liner brush. Look at how fine that tip is and how you'd be able to apply like a very dramatic cat eyeliner with it. You can already see it being very useful. So those are the 6 UBU brushes I got. So pretty well-rounded set, I would say. A cheek brush / face brush. They call this the soothing face brush, but I'm just going to call it a cheek brush. The bright up brush, the detail face, and this can fit here, which I'm noticing already. So I'm going to be trying it for contour, eye socket contouring, and then of course highlight, which is its given function. This will be a target powder brush, a cheek brush, and then got my eye brushes here. This will probably end up being a highlight brush at some point. Down the nose. And then these two more detailed brushes. This one for brows. I actually have two different brow brushes, surprisingly. But I got the traditional angled one. I can already say it's softer than if it was just softer and more velvety than if it was just straight water badger. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out compared to the water badger one, which I rarely use and usually only with a gel eyebrow product. So I have those 6 and then 2 more from the Misumi line. These are the unique triangle looking kabuki brushes. So I can't see where, there's no sticker flap on this one. Okay. Okay, so we have this thing here. And then it tells you again all about the brush. This one's goat/synthetic. The handle's also wood. It's ash. And then, yeah, it's pretty cool. Huh. Wonder if it says anything differently because this is a foundation brush and from a different line. Comparing the information cards on these, I don't expect them to be different, but maybe. Blah 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 blah. Nope, they're all the same. All the same general information. So not a huge surprise there. And then the reason why I got this was because it's unique and I have nothing in my collection like it yet. The name again is engraved in. But this one strangely lacks the number. All the other ones have a number code. The UBU ones have a number code, like this one's 820. I do expect this to rub off eventually. So this one, sorry, looking like a pretty versatile brush. It might be too small and too slow for most people, but it's going to be pretty useful, I think, considering I use cream and liquid makeup most of the time, most days. And this one, the eye brush actually has the same size box as the foundation brush, while the UBU brushes all had different size and shape boxes. So just something to notice. And then this again is goat and synthetic with an ash wood handle. And then this is dyed goat hair, obviously. And then this is going to be a pretty unique blending brush with that short handle. You're either gonna love it or it's gonna drive you crazy. So the people who love it are the ones who are nearsighted and need to get really close to the mirror. And something unique about this is you can use it pretty much with your nose pressed up to the mirror if you're blending with it like this or like this. So right off the bat, I'm kind of already excited to play with this brush. Might be a little too harsh for nose contour, so I'll probably not do that. But as an eye blending brush, I think this is going to be a myopic person's dream. So that's the unboxing video. I'm going to take a look at the comments and then answer any general questions. And yeah, thank you for watching. Okay, what do you use? Baby shampoo, dry them off of a microfiber towel. Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of standard to use baby shampoo. Also, the pure olive oil soaps that are pretty much just olive oil and some hydroxide to make the soap to saponify it. Let's see, why did your brain jump to made in China brushes? Probably because the UBU brushes have been around for a while and they were one of the most copied designs is sort of kabuki wood handle, one of the most copied designs for a couple years. So, for example, Ray Morris, her kabuki brushes were also kind of looking like this, except for they had a black handle like this instead. So imagine this black handle on here with the rest of the brush head. So because Ray Morris had her line, there were a bunch of Chinese copycats for it. So that's why you might have jumped to seeing Chinese-made Fude, because they did make and manufacture those in response to the sort of intrigue and awe with the Ray Morris brushes. Okay. I find that my water is hard enough that I don't need to treat it with aloe vera to get it to keep the shape, but maybe the aloe vera is for a different purpose. I've never tried aloe vera with my brushes before. No, I think Tara Babies is the main person that does that, or at least she's the first person I've heard it from. Yeah, the soap I made was just me having fun. I had made a bunch of soaps to give for Christmas, and they were basically just glycerin and shea butter. And I had some extras left over, and I'm like figuring, hey, it's good enough to use on my face. There's not that much fragrance in it. I'll just use it with my brushes as well. Will these be available to purchase in the UK? I'm not sure, but the great thing about the Japanese company, in particular this one, Shaquda, aka Mizuho, in particular, is they seem very open, and that's a side effect of that globalization and responding to popularity. If there's enough demand, if there's enough people that say, hey, please ship to the UK or please be available via Amazon in the UK, I'm sure they may respond eventually. You like bigger brushes, so these look like they are not for you, but they look nice. Yeah, totally understandable. I love big brushes, small brushes, brushes all over the place. They do look like witches' wands. They look similar to the Wayne Goss brushes. Well, I'm sure you know people and companies are inspired by each other, so Wayne Goss is not the first, and I doubt Shaquda is the first either, because really what these came from are calligraphy brushes. So if you don't already know, almost all of the old Fude houses started as calligraphy brushes, but then they shifted their production to makeup brushes because makeup brushes were more popular and more lucrative. And then as those got traction, then specialty companies design or set up specifically for makeup brushes were later set up. So Wayne Goss will remind you of Ray Morris, will remind you of Shaquda, will remind you of calligraphy brushes. So it kind of goes way back. So nobody copied anybody here. And then I actually have a couple triangle eye brushes from Sephora that I've never shown on this channel, but are super cool. I don't even know if they still make them. I got them from the makeup show a couple of years ago, but they're super cool. I love them. I'm surprised at myself for not showing them before, but it's probably because they're made by the Sephora collection and not Fude. I'll show them sometime when I review these brushes. Long-handled brushes definitely do feel more elegant, but if you watch me applying makeup, I still do apply by holding at the very end. If I'm doing it on someone else, though, I do hold it at the end of the handle. And I can't really explain why for that. It just feels better because I have that point of control if I'm applying it on me this way. I just feel like I have more proprioceptive precision. But if I'm doing it on someone else, I like hold it out here because I don't think they would appreciate my knuckles in their cheekbone. Blind as a bat, do my makeup with my face very close to the mirror, and you can do that with Sonia G brushes. Yep. It's really just about playing with angles and adjusting. Where can you buy actual Japanese calligraphy brushes from? I think you can buy them from the websites of the Japanese brush companies. For example, I think Koyudo sells calligraphy brushes, but you would have to contact them directly. So their calligraphy brush lines are not super available. You have to contact them. And the great part is now most of the Japanese company have someone on staff to handle customer service that communicate in pretty good English. And sorry if I keep going back to English, I'm American. So no, they definitely have goat hair brushes. I just didn't buy them, so I'm a bad. This is a bad sample of their brush offerings. Something I did know is they don't offer their full line on Amazon. They offer a select handful of them. So if you go to Shaquda's website, you'll see like a whole array of more than a dozen. On Amazon, I think it's slightly limited to less than a dozen. I'm assuming that's because those are their most popular brushes, or those are the ones they want to promote the most. Shaquda is on Net-a-Port. Oh my gosh. Wow, Shaquda is Mizuho is being really aggressive in trying to capture a market share. And I think they'll be pretty successful at it because, they're pretty striking and pretty unique. Does the Gentle Face soap get foundation out of the brushes properly? Yes. I guess I should qualify that. If it's a face soap that I use and I remove my makeup and I go over with a toner pad later and there's pretty much no makeup left, I'll use that face soap for my brush soap as well. But with things like the Inglot AMC gel liner, that stuff is so stubborn. What I have to do is I have to do a pre-rinse where I get like a little puddle of Bioderma or micellar water, and then I just like swirl that brush in there, try to get out as much of the gunk and the eyeliner stuff as I can. And then I wash with a regular soap. And then I do another micellar rinse, this time on a cotton pad to see if it's truly clean. And then I wash it again. So it depends on the brush. If it's a gel, very pigmented gel cream product brush, I will use soap with micellar water. Shaquda is not the only brand I've seen on Amazon. Shaquda is the only one that is available Prime. I've seen Takeda and Hokodo available on Amazon as well. And if you watch my wow, crap, I'm blanking. The Fude globalization / popularity video. I do explain the differences. These brushes are being sold directly by the Mizuho company themselves on Amazon. Takeda and Hokodo are being sold by what I call a intermediate company, where it's somebody who imports the brushes they buy the brushes from the brush companies, in this case, Hokodo and Takeda. And then, so they keep the stock, and then they list their stock on Amazon, and they do charge a shipping fee of something like $5, but it's really marginal compared to if I wanted to order the Takeda or the Takeda brushes from Takeda themselves. The shipping fee would be closer to something like $20. And because the Hokodo brushes and the Takeda brushes, the stock is kept locally to me, for that $5 shipping fee, they get to me a lot faster. The store that sells them is called Morning Sidewalk. I've used them throughout the years, and I know that their products are legit. I can't speak to other brands or other intermediate companies if they're selling Fude on Amazon. Those are just the ones I've tried. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, found it helpful, found it interesting, and exciting like I did. If there's no more questions or comments, I'll hop off and go about the rest of my day and leave you to the rest of your day as well. And do let me know what you think of the audio and video quality in this video compared to my previous ones. I think the video quality is better, and I think the audio quality on this video is better than the audio quality on my previous video. The one previous to this, where I was using the Koyudo brush to apply the makeup I have on now, I was using the integrated camera. I'm integrating microphone with the camera. I did a bit of a listen. I don't think I liked it, so I went back to using my external microphone. Okay, I'm glad to hear that the image quality is good. I plan to reshoot some videos, including the Sonia G face sky set. Oh, thank you. So, but I think I will continue using the external mic from now on. So, And then since you guys are here, where did those brushes go? I'll be right back. So this kind of goes back to why I have a new camera in the first place. My birthday's coming up pretty soon, and I got this camera as an early birthday present. And I also kind of made a mistake getting myself a birthday present. I ordered these brushes from Bishoto. The only difference is the length of the handle. So I have now 2 of the same brush in Kolinsky filberts. I love Kolinsky filberts, but I have so many of them. I don't need 2 duplicates. So I'm going to be running a giveaway on my Instagram. It's going to be a little bit of a game. So please do subscribe to my Instagram as well for a chance to play that game and have your choice of which brush you want. I really don't have a preference handle, so whoever wins will get to choose if they want the short handle one or the long handle one. And forget the names of this right now. I think this is the ES05, this is the ES06, but it's one of the 2. So thanks for watching.